Hey guys, it is Mike with Come the Night. Welcome back to another Song Suggestion Friday. This is the show where you put your suggestions of songs you would like my opinion and feedback on in the comments below. I pick 5 of those songs from the comments. Patrons of $10 or more can send their suggestions directly to me. Those suggestions go into a poll on Patreon. Patrons of $5 or more can vote on that poll, and 3 of those go into Song Suggestion Friday. Of the patron suggestions that did not win on the poll, I pick The Magic 2. I grade these songs on a plus sign, equal sign, minus sign. Plus sign means I would actively seek that song out again. Minus sign means I would actively avoid that song. Let's begin. Tales of Destinies by BABYMETAL. Legitimately, the title makes me think that they're Swedish and not actually, in fact, Japanese. This intro reminds me of the True Survivor intro. I love the jump from the vigorous, diminished feel going into this kind of happier... It's a major key. Okay, so here's the thing. My first guess was that it was Mixolydian, but it has a minor 6th in it. So it is a major scale with a minor 7th and minor 6th. I actually looked at this, and if you look at it from the minor perspective, or if you look at it from an F sharp perspective, it would actually be melodic minor ascending. So what's the relative major, if you will, to a melodic minor? Is there a melodic major? I don't know. Or maybe it's the
demonic major.
Either way, it was super cool. The instrumentals in this song are kick-ass, proggy as hell. The vocals throughout this song, for the most part, were pissing me off. The parts where they were singing very nicely with like a long, held-out note melody over top of the crazy instrumentals, I really liked. The parts where they're like fucking little whiny talky parts, I fucking hated that. Lots of crazy stops throughout the song. Feel changes, tempo changes. The synth choice was kick-ass. Love the bass tone. There's a breakdown at 243, which is awesome. Every instrument in this track is insanely technical. This is definitely not something I would listen to all the time, but it is written very well and played very well. Kind of wish there was just an instrumental track for this. Mixed well, mastered super hot, almost too much. Love the piano outro. Total grade for this song, plus sign. Bleeding in the Blur by Code Orange. Very haunting intro. Love the guitar tone in the intro. There's definitely not nearly enough feedback coming out of the guitars. There's an excellent tacky mix on the drums. The vocal style was very unexpected, but a pleasant surprise. Definitely not amazing, but okay to listen to. The melody is solid. The distorted guitars are way too much going on distortion and tone-wise there for my taste, but it actually suited the song very well. Nothing really complicated about this song. Sonic picture is very interesting. The guitar solo is well written, though it is a little buried in the mix. Really not much else to say on this one. I don't hate it, but it's not really my thing. It's definitely good for what it is. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Snow by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I fucking despise the catch of this song. Hey, oh, this is what I say, oh. I got potato when I roll in, hey, oh. It's fucking dumb. Hey, oh is like, I could probably let him get away with that, but then rhyming it with say-oh, get fucked, please. And yes, it is catchy, but I fucking hate it. Melody is awesome. Love the guitar licks in that verse part. Oh, they're so good. Guitar tone is excellent throughout. Bass is like right where it needs to be, volume-wise, play-wise, tone-wise. It just sits perfect. The part itself is interesting, but very simple. That pre-chorus thing is great, building up to the chorus, obviously, duh. Chorus is catchy and passionate. Gives you feels without having to be pissed off metal. Drums are surprisingly simple. Good feel and good detail, though. The mix, tone, vocals, all that stuff I've already talked about in previous videos. Great arrangement. Composition is simple but poignant. Pretty garagey sound. Not a ton of low end, but it does not feel hollow. And the outro kind of raises the tension with an auxiliary chorus guitar. Vocal harmonies throughout, great touch. Only because I've heard this song so many fucking times. Total grade for this song, equal sign. Cry of the Banshee by Brocas Helm. Love that legato bass intro. And he reprises it later in the song, and it just gets a little messy. He could have played it a little tighter, but it's whatever. Then we go from this legato bass intro into some weird, upbeat Celtic dance thing. The production on this is pretty bad, especially for 2004. You can definitely tell this is a very low budget project. I wouldn't be surprised if the band members themselves actually did it. Composition is actually solid. Good melody, smart choice to double up on those vocals, because I can tell from him singing it's not a very good vocalist. Guitar tone is good, bass tone is decent. Guitar solo is actually really good. Well written, nothing too flashy, more focus on phrasing and less on trying to be an expert guitar player. It was a very good choice to go with that upbeat Celtic dance feel. The way that they recorded the drums was trash. I would love to see this song played live. Total grade for this song, =. Blue Sky Mine by Midnight Oil. It's that weird period in music where music couldn't tell if it was 80s or 90s, it's just both. Love that guitar tone. Unexpected but awesome harmonica throughout the song. Production on this song is excellent. It's recorded crystal clear and mixed very subtly but noticeably. If I had to critique one thing on the mix, that snare is too thin, and I think that's a period thing, but it's not horrible. That kick is super tight. Vocals really are not my thing. I don't hate it, they're just kind of slightly cringy. Solid catch in the chorus. Good rhythm and note choice in the chorus. The verses are okay, just not really much there to keep me interested. Organ is a good touch, though I would have messed with the tone of the organ a little bit. Good, solid rock song. If you had changed singers and slightly altered the melody, I think I would have really enjoyed this. Total grade for this song, =. Starship Trooper by Yes. The intro is pretty much our theme throughout most of the song. It starts out with some suspended chords and then resolves for a little bit, then just bounces back and forth between that. And then I guess in the part you'd call the chorus, it kind of goes through some really weird chord progressions. Chord progressions throughout this song are extraordinarily unorthodox, however theoretically sound. They have a tremolo effect on the bass, and I was not expecting that. Very cool idea. Very dry and tight drums. I wish they would add just a little more room to it, but I think it might be a period thing again. Bass line throughout this song is really good. The melody is good throughout the song, especially considering how weird the chord changes are. I do not like the guitar tone at all throughout this song. Either it has too much effects on it, or like at a later part, he's playing a really cool lead that actually has some cool phrasing and cool little licks, but the tone is so thin. I mean, I hate it. At 3:19, we get to this finger-picking acoustic part, which I actually loved. Slaying it folk style. Absolutely love the vocal melody and harmony here. Oh, so good. I personally don't think the song needs to be this long. It didn't make me mad, but I mean, you could have just trimmed the fat a little bit. It's actually quite trancy at some parts, especially that last outro. Excellent use of dynamics throughout this song, especially when we get to 5:37 is the start of the outro, and this is a 9-minute song. At least I think it's a 9-minute song. It's either 9 or 7 minutes, one or the other. Very, very gradual crescendo, gradual development of this one idea that starts out as just a guitar riff, and just brings more shit in and more stuff morphs, and the loudness gradually gets higher and higher. It's cool, it's really cool, just a little long, honestly. Altogether is a cool experience. Total grade for this song, =. Till Death Do Us Part by Apocalyptica. Love the warmth coming off of the bottom of that cello. Oh, it's so good. Then like in the intro, they have like these high-pitched screech things, those were cool. I fucking love this melody. It's a very simple chord progression and melody, so touching. Very poignant, if you will. The sonic picture is exceptional in its simplicity. Just letting the subtlety and the detail of the performance and the tone of the instruments just soak in. Oh, there's a lot going on there tonally. 2:43, we finally break out into cello metal. Killer. The drums are actually mixed perfectly to match this tone. Super crunchy. And throughout the song, we kind of get this dynamic development of our idea. Like I was talking about in my dynamics video this week. If you haven't seen that video, which I know fucking most of you haven't, go watch that video and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because they exemplified it on this track. Some of the changes that they do, going to these different parts, trying to mix it up from the original idea, they feel a little forced, but I don't mind it. They did a good job at mixing up the rhythm. Well done. The arrangement was excellent. Good composition. Production was spot on. Possibly mastered just a smidgen hot. I think I could hear some small clipping at parts. And if it's not the master, it had to be the original recording. Total grade for this song, +. The Great Chain of Being by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Love this guitar tone. Typically hate fuzz guitars, and this fuzz feels fucking great here. Those vocals are awesome. They have like a weird grovel to them, and there's definitely some kind of effect on them. It's kind of like a King Gizzard sludge. Whereas I find sludge extraordinarily boring, this was very interesting. There's not even that much going on in the song. They just actually made it fucking interesting. It's not just slow drums. Like, there's actually little details in the tone, little details in how they slightly mix things up. Good fucking vocals for once. Like, if you're a huge Sludge fan, listen to this song and find out what Sludge is doing wrong. The overheads are incredibly squashed, but it does work well. Love the kick tone. Good melody. Excellent sense of rhythm in this song. The sonic picture is great. The riffs, the drums, the bass, all super simple. It's all about the tone. It's all about the vibe. If I had to bitch about something, I wish there was just a tad more mid-range in that bass, but it's a minor complaint. Other than that, I mean, I love that tone. Not that much else to say here. I really enjoyed it. I just don't know that I really am dying to hear it again. Total grade for this song, =. Worms of the Senses by Refused. Starts out with some spoken word and a bunch of fucking traffic noises. The actual song doesn't start until about a minute in. Cool little riff, great balance between the guitar tone and the bass tone. They blended together seamlessly, unless there's no bass. Vocals are atypical, but they work great with this track. It's kind of like if Rage Against the Machine was constantly screaming. Good mixing up of the rhythm throughout and leaving holes for the drum to do drum things. I guess this is technically hardcore punk, like before post-hardcore ruined everything. Shit ton of attitude in this song. Good composition, simple arrangement. I'm not a fan of how they mix the drums, though the kick and the snare do sound good. Just based upon what I'm listening to, they either had a 4 mic setup or a 3 mic setup, because you can hear the kick and the snare very clearly, and the toms just sound like a fucking room. At 4:34, they have this weird effect that pans back and forth. I like that. Then we have this nice build for about a minute, and then a killer breakdown. Great sound, great groove. Total grade for this song, =. The Complexity of Light by Children of Nuva. A request from my very first subscriber. Was not expecting conga drums. Got some cool guitar things going on. The bass parts in the verse are cool. Love that bass tone. Good tremolo effect on the guitars. Vocals are solid. Good melody. Chorus is cool. They have nice accents throughout the chorus too, like rhythmic accents. Drums just seem like they're missing mids somewhere. I have a low end and I have a high, sharp, high mids, and there's just something scooped out. I'm not sure if I'm hearing it correctly or not, but that's my guess. Tons of highs on the snare, almost all lows on the kick. I mean, there's a tiny bit of tack that peeks through, but it's very not noticeable. Really good guitar tone, honestly. I think they mixed out a little bit too much low end on the bass. Composition was solid, arrangement's very good. There is a shit ton of guitar effects on this track, but they're used quite appropriately. Even the clean guitar tone is very nice. His vocal falsetto is killer. Probably one of the best I've heard. Really, at the end of the day, the production could probably use a little bit of work and maybe making the song feel a little bit more solid in some of the composition, but it's not a bad song at all. It's actually quite good. Total grade for this song, =. I apologize for not having another suggestion this week. I haven't had time to listen to a whole lot of music, so I'm sorry. I promise there will be one next week. That is it for Song Suggestion Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments in the comments below. Please support me on Patreon. It helps me out a shit ton. YouTube has been fucking me over. I've been uploading 3 days a week and still no fucking views. So the Patreon support helps a shit ton. And that way you can also send your suggestions directly to me. If you have songs that you would like critiqued, I do personal critiques for self-written songs. Email me, becomethenight@gmail.com. If you want to leave a tip, I have Bitcoin and PayPal. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook @BecomeTheNight. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!